How's it going, everyone? I am the Chaz here with your video going over the events slated to come to the global server in the month of February. If you're looking for something specific in the video, I'll leave some timestamps below if you're impatient and don't want to watch the entire video. This is the month where we get a lot of things related to the first anniversary of the game, but we'll get to that at the end of the video. First, let's start off with the Spotlight banner that kicks off the month, featuring UR Chika 6 and Yume no Tobira Maki. Let's start as always by addressing the SR, who this time is Yume no Tobira Maki. A natural attribute SK type card, we get another SP gauge filler in the SR slot. Is the card great? No, nothing particularly special about it, just card filler. Okay, now on to Chika, also known as Afternoon Tea Chika or Chika 6. An elegant attribute SK type, this card is another of what I would classify as an offensive sustain card. At Limit Break 0, she starts off with 6324 base appeal, 4220 base stamina, and 5680 base technique, giving her a 16.71% crit rate. Her tap active is a new hybrid, providing both a stamina heal and a stamina shield, equal to 13% of her technique at skill level 3. Activating at the standard 33% rate. Her passive is admittedly very weak, just buffing her own technique stat by 8% at skill level 3. Her live show active is weak as well, which, when activated upon AC completion, gives a guaranteed voltage gain of cards in the same strategy by a weird 4.1% for the next 5 notes. Really? It couldn't just be a nice round 4%? Are they really trying to anger everyone with OCD? I digress. As far as this card goes, while it is now the best Limit Break 0 offensive sustain card appeal-wise, for the time being, she doesn't have anything in her kit to help boost the scoring of other cards in the strategy, like Fesmari or Fesriko can. While the technique buff passive is nice and puts her crit rate at max Limit Break to around 32%, when you look at her stats after that, she looks like an out-of-place, weak voltage card. Around the time of the Spotlight banner release, we'll be getting the next DLP tower, this time with the emphasis on the Muse Girls. Much like the Niji and Aqua towers, because the Muse Girls are featured on this tower, they'll each be getting an extra PP. I've been hearing lately how a lot of players don't have the card pool to tackle a lot of these towers, especially as you get past stage 20. Don't worry too much about this. These towers will keep coming back, so your objective should be to play to get as far as you can for each tower. Even if you can only clear 4 to 5 stages on a tower per instance of DLP, it'll save you a lot of headaches. Slow and steady, everyone. Slow and steady. The first event for the month of February comes in the form of the Amusement Park Marathon event. This event features Event UR Maki 6, Event SR's Margaret Kasumi and Mitai Ken Horizon Mari, Gacha SR Yume no Tobira Rin, and Gacha UR's Yohane 6 and Kanata 4. A quick note on the SRs. The best of the bunch is Yume no Tobira Rin, who comes as a Smile attribute guard type shielder. While Mitai Ken Horizon Mari is a stamina heal SR, she heals off of her stamina, which happens to be her lowest stat. Margaret Kasumi is an SP gauge gain SR, so unfortunately, she's incredibly weak. Starting with the event UR, we get Maki 6, also known as Sparkling Night Parade Maki. A pure attribute SK type, she's a pretty solid card overall, especially for free-to-play players. At Limit Break 1, she has 4699 base appeal, 4543 base stamina, and 5928 base technique, giving her a 32.44% crit rate. Her tap active is an SP gauge fill, filling 7% of the SP gauge at skill level 3, activating at the standard UR rate of 33%. Her passive increases the technique of all members by 3.9% at skill level 4, and her LSA, upon using your SP gauge, is guaranteed to increase the crit rate of all cards by 7%, but only for the next 3 notes, and with this skill activating at a maximum of 10 times per live. Because of her weaker gauge fill tap active and LSA, this card is strictly worse than Floor Rev Event Pana we had early in the game, though she is still good for those of you searching out some of those SP Gauge MVPs for SBL. The first part of the event gacha brought Kanata 4, also known as Sparkling Night Parade Kanata. An active attribute SP type, this card is underwhelming. At Limit Break 0, she starts off with matching 5905 base appeal and technique with 4149 base stamina. Her tap active provides an SP gauge bomb of 31% of her appeal to the next SP gauge. Her passive increases the appeal of same strategy cards by 6% at skill level 3, but because she's not a great scorer, this skill is pretty irrelevant. Her LSA, at the start of the first appeal chance, increases the gauge gain of all cards in her strategy by 2.5% for the remainder of the live. Overall, a very weak card with little utility. The second part of the event gacha, however, gives the significantly better card with Yohane 6, or Sparkling Night Parade Yohane. A pure attribute voltage type, this card is only the fourth of its kind and the second non-fest card of this attribute and typing. At Limit Break 0, she starts off with a very respectable 6819 base appeal, 4059 base stamina, and 5359 base technique. Her entire kit is same attribute driven, which cuts down on her flexibility. Her tap active increases appeal of all other pure attribute cards by 6.6% for the next 5 notes at skill level 3. Her passive increases the appeal of other pure attribute cards by 4.6% at skill level 3. Finally, her LSA, activated upon AC completion, increases the crit rate of pure attribute cards by 10% for the next 10 notes. Overall, an above average card that serves as a perfect complementary piece for pure attribute song scoring. The Fest banner for the month of February brings us the last 2 of the initial Fest card run, closing us out with Ayumu and Shioriko. The SRs on this Fest banner are Yume no Tobira Honoka and Analog Heart Rina. Both are decent for SRs, but neither are Snow Halation Kotori levels of good to write about. The first UR we'll go over is Fest Ayumu, also known as Ayumu 4 or Soulmate Ayumu. A cool attribute SK type card, this card has a few similarities to Fest Hanayo. At Limit Break 0, Ayumu starts with 6430 base appeal, 3649 base stamina, and 7298 base technique, giving her a 36.46% crit rate, the highest Limit Break 0 crit rate in the attribute. Her tap active provides a voltage boost equal to 31% of her appeal at skill level 3, activating at the standard rate. Her passive gives an appeal boost to all other Niji cards by 4.6% at skill level 3. Her live show active, which activates at the beginning of every appeal chance, provides a stamina heal equal to 7.5% of her technique. While this card is great for your center 3 on cool attribute songs due to her above average appeal and monster technique, there is still a decent amount of blemishes on this card. First, her tap active is based off of her appeal and not her technique, which is her highest stat. Second, having her passive tied to other Niji cards means that unless you're frontlining her with 2 other Niji cards, her passive isn't fully utilized. The second UR in the Fest banner is Fest Shioriko, also known as Jade Echoes Shioriko. A Smile attribute voltage type, this card adds more options to the incredible Smile First Year's comp. At Limit Break 0, Shioriko starts off with 7464 base appeal, 3125 base stamina, and 6774 base technique, and a 19.92% crit rate. Her tap active is on the weaker side, providing a voltage gain for other Niji cards by 9.4% for the next 3 notes at skill level 3. Her passive is identical to Fest Ayumu, increasing appeal of other Niji cards by 4.6% at skill level 3. Her LSA is also relatively weak, giving a voltage boost equal to 10.5% of her appeal upon every completed appeal chance. Much like Fest Ayumu, Fest Shioriko's tap active and passive make for team building headaches if you're trying to maximize usage of the card. Her unusually high technique for a voltage type makes for a wonderful center 3 card on Smile attribute songs when the card gets higher limit breaks. While she may not be great for you if you already have high limit breaks on Cat Hood 18, Parade Pana, Mononoke Rina, or Moon Rabbit Shizuku, This is a card you'll want to keep an eye on for Radiance usage later. In addition to the Fest banner, we will be getting the Story Chapter 21 update, which brings the attribute version of Love You My Friends by Nijigasaki and Colorful Voice by Muse. Love You My Friends attribute version, which comes in the Smile attribute, has a 7.87 million voltage score to S rank on Advanced. If you're able to clear all the ACs on this 179 note song, you're looking at a 6 million voltage raw score, though the song isn't cleansable, so you're going to have to either stay on attribute or deal with the penalty. There are 3 different gimmick notes, along with 3 different intra AC gimmicks revolving around different type cards, which makes this song similar to Wake Up Challenger. ACs 1 and 5 reduce the base appeal of non-voltage types, 2 and 4 reduce non-SP types, and the third reduces non-guard types. To balance this out, all of the ACs are voltage based, so if you have SP gauges ready to go before the ACs start, this shouldn't be too much of a problem. The Muse song, Colorful Voice, is a cool attribute song that is not cleansable and brings an 8.373 million voltage score requirement to S rank on Advanced. While not as cumbersome as Love You My Friends may be, it still does give some issues. The first and last ACs require SP gauge usage, with the last requiring 145k voltage from your gauge, so you'll really need to optimize your center 3. The middle 2 ACs are voltage based, so if you stay mostly on attribute, you should be fine. The only notable things about the gimmick notes are that in the middle 2 ACs, there is a gimmick note that causes voltage units to lose 20% of their appeal for 10 notes. So the song does reward you for running cards like Initial Maki and Steam Maiden Hanamaru as your main scorers. Right around the time of the Fest banner, we'll also be getting the 8th edition of SBL. As always, I will be doing a separate video for SBL, but this time around, the songs are No Brand Girls, Koi ni Naritai Aquarium, and the original Tokimeki Runners. The second event in the month of February is the Best Christmas Present Exchange event, featuring Event UR Yo 6, Event SR's Yume no Tobera Hanayo and Tanoshii no Tensai Ai, Event Gacha SR Mitai Ken Horizon Ruby, and Event Gacha UR's Kotori and Setsuna. Wait, those 2 girls on the same banner sounds kind of familiar. Sorry. The temp song for the next 2 events is Jingle Bell ga Tomaranai, and the voltage ranking songs for this event are Snow Halation, Miracle Wave, and Margaret. The SRs tied to the event are, well, not good. Mitai Ken Horizon Ruby has a damage reduction tap active and okay stats. Yume no Tobera Hanayo has subpar stats but a same attribute appeal buff passive. And Tanoshii no Tensai Ai has bad stats and a bad kit, which, as an Ioshi, makes me very sad panda. First, the event UR, Yo 6, or Santa Girl is Coming to Town Yo. Another natural attribute guard type card. This one is by far the worst of the 3 similar cards. At Limit Break 1, Yo starts with 4482 base appeal, 6202 base stamina, and 4423 base technique, all of which are acceptable. Her kit, however, is terrible. Her tap active is damage reduction, reducing the damage taken by 20% for the next 5 notes at skill level 3. Her passive increases her own stamina by 8.5% at skill level 4. Her live show active, which only triggers once per live when switching strategies, recovers stamina equal to 60% of her own stamina. This card, outside of her cute outfit, is just card filler, nothing more. The same, however, cannot be said for the event gacha URs. The first one released was Koto 6, or Santa Girl is Coming to Town Kotori. An active attribute voltage type, this card is very similar to Toy Shop Panic Yo. At Limit Break 0, Kotori starts with 6980 base appeal, 3081 base stamina, and 6163 base technique, giving her an 18.13% crit rate, which is actually the highest of all the meta cards of the same attribute and typing. Yes, a slightly higher crit rate than Fest Kanon. Kotori's kit revolves around her attribute, with her tap active providing an appeal boost of 6.6% for other active attribute cards at skill level 3. Her passive increases the appeal of other active attribute cards by 4.6% at skill level 3. Her LSA, at the start of the first appeal chance, gives a voltage boost equal to 100% of her appeal. All in all, a very good card if you happen to pull her, as she is good for both frontline and backline duties. The second UR for the event gacha is Setsu 5, or Santa Girl is Coming to Town Setsuna. A Smile attribute SP type, this card will also draw a comparison to another Yo UR, Miracle Voyageo. At Limit Break 0, Setsuna starts with 5842 base appeal, 5680 base stamina, and 4703 base technique. Her tap active provides an SP gauge fill of 8% at skill level 3. Her passive buffs her own appeal by 8% at skill level 3 as well. Her live show active is great for her kit, providing a gauge fill equal to 1% of her technique at the start of every appeal chance. This card is a perfect substitute for instances where Miracle Voyageo would fit. They're basically equals, with Setsuna having a higher base appeal but lower base technique and a lower crit rate. After the completion of the exchange event, we get DLP back again, but this time with only a minor addition, stages 31 to 35 on each of the school towers. This should give you a lot of time to catch up and get a lot of those later stages completed. The next banner on the docket is the second Spotlight Gacha of the month, featuring UR Nico and SR Mitaiken Horizon Daya, who is actually not terrible for an SR. A cool attribute Stamina Shielder who can also recover stamina the first 8 times per live that you use your SP gauge. The highlighted UR is Nico 6, also known as Fluffy White Snow Nico, a natural attribute SP type with an SP gauge bomb tap active. At Limit Break 0, Nico starts with 6324 base appeal, 3403 base stamina, and 6498 base technique, giving her a 34.11% crit rate. Her tap active, as mentioned, is an SP gauge bomb, providing 31% of her appeal as voltage to the next SP gauge at skill level 3. Her passive is a hybrid, increasing technique by 6% and stamina by 2.5% for each card in her strategy at skill level 3. Her live show active is actually similar to Mitaiken Horizon Daya, but Nico's recovers stamina equal to 10% of her technique each of the first 10 times you use your SP gauge. When evaluating this card in attribute against Fes Umi, Noble Princess Riko, and Mononoke Ruby, this card has the highest appeal at Limit Break 0. The downside of this card when compared to Fes Umi, however, is the lack of extra gauge fill. Finally, we get to the part of the video you've all been waiting for, the first anniversary event and banners. I have separate videos breaking down both the Muse and Aqua banners, but it essentially boils down to this. If you're a free-to-play player that is more concerned with meta cards, pull on the Aqua banner if you must. In addition, if you're planning to spark either of these banners, note that the shiny quartz pieces from the shop are shared, just like event banners. This means that if you do 25-10 pulls on the Muse banner, you can spark a card from the Aqua banner and vice versa. I will note for these banners, much like the Niji Fest banner back in November, these Special Fest banners feature a 4x rate up, not the flat 0.5% chance to pull a highlighted UR like a normal Fest banner. This takes the chance to pull a particular card down to roughly 0.2%, or 1 in every 500 cards pulled. There is a box that doesn't have shiny quartz pieces, and that's the first anniversary Step Up banner. Yes, paid Step Up banners are back and will be a large part of the second year of Love Live All-Stars. The first step of this banner is free, so everyone will get a free 10 pull from it, and thus a free opportunity for a Fest card. As far as the rest of the steps go, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. 1,400 paid gems, or a roughly $80 USD cost to get at least one Fest UR is a pretty good value no matter what the card is. Now granted, a lot of players are going the free-to-play or budget route, which is totally fine. However, if you have ever thought about putting any money into this game, this would be one of the few times I would say that this is worth it. Also around this time, there should be a School Idol Wish pack that comes to the shop. As with the last set, one of these packs will cost roughly 25 USD, and this set will give you 300 pay gems, and more importantly, 10 School Idol Wishes. By purchasing all 3 of these packs, the 30 School Idol Wishes you get become a limit break on the UR of your choice. There is a caveat to all this talk of banners and pulling. If you do not have 12,500 gems to spark the first anniversary banner, do not pull. There are banners coming out soon, like the second season of Fest banners and the mysterious party URs. The first of the second season of Fest banners is really strong, highlighted by Ellie, who at max limit break has the 7th highest base appeal of any UR in the game, and Kanan, who already had the best initial UR and best scoring Fest card to this point of the game, who now also gets the largest stamina stick UR in the game. I will also note that the timing of this banner, along with the events, could be a slowdown point for the game. With the aforementioned second season of Fest cards scheduled to release sometime in March, this may be a time where K-Lab tries to return events to the old cadence, though it would have to come after SBL, which would be around the second week of March. As far as the login bonuses and things of the sort go, we got 10 free 10 pull tickets in addition to our normal login bonuses. 1 10 pull per day, with these tickets having the card pull finished after the UMA Marathon event, the event with the event Kanan UR, and the Honoka and I event Gacha URs. As with all tickets, I must reiterate, as a lot of newer and casual players do not know this, you cannot pull Fest cards from these or any tickets. Fest cards are only obtainable via pulls on a Fest banner. With that, we close out the video on the events slated for the month of February. A huge thank you to my man Xifrid with help with visual assets for this and every video. If you have any questions regarding any of the events, feel free to leave it as a comment down below. If you ever want to watch me suffer during Dreamlight Parade or SBL, follow me on Twitch over at twitch.tv/IamTheShaz, where I stream 5 times a week. Lastly, a big thank you to my Twitch subs, CO SIFAS, Shut It, 86 Romy, Poker Dottie, AJ Bailey 3, Kotaro-chan, Nadir_cutie, Captain Cupcake, Fantastic, Super Penguin 7, Spicy Quiche, and Dark Genic Smash, most of whom have gifted subs in the channel as well. I've been I Am The Shaz, take it easy, be nice to each other, and I'll see you all next time.